get started here. This will be less of a presentation and more of a discussion. Well, we're going to use the presentation as well, but it's going to be a guided discussion. Yeah? Mental health and mental well-being is a very big part of our lives that sometimes go undiscussed. So for that reason, the organizers today have decided on this topic, and I'm very happy with this topic. I really enjoy this topic, and I look forward to the discussion today. Okay. How much of Gurbani is about mental health? It's a question from me to you. What do you think? How much of a Gurbani do you think is about mental health? Hanji.
I would say all of it.
All of it? Okay. Anyone else? I agree with Benji. I would say Gurbani is all about your mental health. Yeah? What's unique about Gurbani? Gurbani is a conversation between you and the Creator. Okay? Whereas other texts might be describing the Creator to you, right? Gurbani is more of a relationship that you carry with the Creator. Okay? It's like if you were to read some sort of like a diary, right? If you were to read a diary of a certain individual who has love for someone else, right? And when you read that diary, they'll be talking in first person, right? Like, I, love you this much because of X, Y, and Z, right? I love you because you make me laddus. I like you because you make me pronte, stuff like that, right? So you would say, you'll be talking in a first person sense. Gurbani talks in a first person sense, right? Guruji says, Hon vari, hon I. Hon means I. I am a sacrifice to you. Main balahar jama. I am a sacrifice to you. I love you for X, Y, and Z reasons. That's what all Gurbani is. There's 14 and 30 angs of Gurbani. Can anyone tell me what angs mean? Don't be shy. Yeah. Body parts, perfect. Ang literally means a body part, right? So referring to each of the angs of Gurbani means the pages, but we don't really call it pages because we say the Guru is living, right? For us, Guru Granth Sahib Ji is the living Guru. For that reason, we refer to each of the so-called pages as angs, as the body parts, right? So there's 1,430 body parts of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. ठीक है जी? And each body part is explaining this relationship between you and the Creator. Okay? So we'll get started. Before we get started, I want you guys to join me in a Mangalacharan, which is a ardas, a prayer, before we begin, to say, Guruji, please guide us on this discussion, in this presentation, and give us your support. If you're eating, it's okay, you keep eating. If you're not eating, great, you could join me. And I'll close my eyes, and you could follow along, right? If you know the words, great. If you don't know the words, just you can listen. Don't worry if your head isn't covered or your shoes aren't off. Just follow along, okay? Ham ab gun pare ek gun nahi amrit chhad bikha bikh khahi Maya moh param papule sutdarasyon preet lagai ek uttam panth sunyo gur sangat te milant jam tras mitai ek ardas paat kirat ki gur ramdas राखो शरनाई एक अरदास पाठ की रत की गुर रामदास राखो शरनाई वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Okay, mental health versus mental illness. Okay, these are mental illnesses, right? Different type of disorders, different type of phobia, schizophrenia, all these different type of things. These are called mental illnesses. Okay, what we're going to try to cover is mental health. Okay, there's a difference. Mental illnesses is something you can learn in a psychology class, you can learn it in school, you can learn it in college. Mental health is something I can provide you, okay? Someone like me, a speaker or a person of faith, can show you what mental health is according to Gurbani, okay? Mental health means your personal well-being. So there's a diagram here, and those people who are taking psychology and classes of mental wellness, you might have seen this diagram before, okay? What this diagram is showing you is that you might encounter someone who has zero mental illnesses but poor mental health. Okay? You might encounter someone who has none of these illnesses, but they might have poor mental health. What that means is that they might have zero emotional intelligence. They might not be able to. You talk to someone, let's say, you have planned to meet someone today, right? And you're going to meet out with your friend, and you tell your friend, last minute something comes up, you're not able to attend, right? You tell your friend, hey mate, I'm so sorry, I can't meet you today. And instead of understanding your situation, your friend is like, what? How could you cancel on me? How could you cancel on me? That's a sign of poor mental health. Why? Because they're not able to put themselves into your shoes. They're not able to understand your situation. Because friendship it's not workship, right? It's a friendship. Friendship means that you give your time to the other individual, you give respect to the other individual, and they provide you the same back, right? Friendship is about giving, not about taking. In friendship, you give respect, you give satkar, you give the other person understanding. When that is lacking in the friendship, that shows that maybe there's not a problem with you, but it might be a problem on the receiving end. Okay? And the flip, you might have someone with great mental health, but they might have these mental illnesses. When we say chardi kala, you heard that before? Chardi kala, right? Kala means your internal state. Usually the word kala, you can even use it for artists. Kalakar, people who sing, magicians, right? People with creativity. Kala literally means creativity, something that comes from the inside. Chardi means going up, like charda, it's going up, right? When the sun rises, we say Suraj chad gaya, means it's rising. Okay? So chardi kala means your mental health is great, is going well, you're feeling great, but you may or may not have these mental illnesses. So these two are separate things, mental health and mental illnesses. By a raise of hands, how many of you are going, or you know someone, either you know someone going through these mental illnesses, or you yourself are going through one of these mental illnesses? By a raise of a hand. Okay, so a couple of us. Okay? Couple of us. Mental health, mental illnesses apply to all of us. Sometimes we just don't know, we're not conscious of what we're feeling, how what we're experiencing to call this mental illness or a mental health issue. Okay? Hopefully through education of learning these different type of illnesses and learning about mental health, we can diagnose ourselves and be like, you know what, I think I might need some help. Or you know what, I'm not feeling good today, maybe there's a reason for that. Okay? Just like we have our physical illnesses, right? In the same way, mental illnesses are very important as well. For example, if you got cut today on your finger, you will find a bandage, right? In the same way, if you have a mental illness or a mental health issue, right, you need to diagnose that. You need to put a bandage on that as well. But how would you know you're having that? Well, you need to watch yourself. You need to judge yourself. You need to constantly look inwards and say, did I say the right thing to that person? Why did I respond in that way? Was there an issue with me? Was there an issue with how I'm able to perceive this conversation? Does that make sense? Okay. When we talk about success, Bhagat Kabir ji, they have a composition, a bani, called Bavan Akhri, right? And what they do with this bani is that they give the reflection on all the alphabets, okay? So they start off, for example, they start off with one alphabet, right? Let's say Sassa or Mamma or Papa. In this case, it's a Mamma, right? They start off with that letter, and then they give the reflection on what that letter means to them, okay? So I'm going to read the Pankti first, and I want you to read after me, okay? Mamma, man seo kaaj hai. Mamma, man seo kaaj hai. Man sade siddh hoye. Bhagat Kabir ji, when they hear the letter Mamma, Mamma is a letter, right? When they hear the letter Mamma, they say, what I think about this letter is this. Man seo kaaj hai. I think that my kaj means work, right? My job in this world is with my mind. Okay? My job in this world is with my mind. And man sade means to fix. If I fix my mind, siddh hoy, I receive success. Siddh means success, siddhi. I receive success. So Bhagat Kabir ji is saying that their definition of success is this: changing my mind. Okay? Reprogramming my mind. Fixing my mind. They say that is my vision of what is a successful human life. Okay? Now I want to hear from you. When you hear the word success, what does it mean for you? It could mean anything. I just want to hear what you think success means. What does it mean to you? Hanji Virji in the back. Right. Feel happy with yourself? You guys like it like this or you like it with this? Like this, A or B? A, okay. I like A as well. All right. Okay, you said to be happy with yourself. Okay, great, beautiful. Anyone else? Hanji Virji.
Sadly, my grades.
Sorry?
My grades.
My grades.
My grades.
Your grades. Sadly, your grades.
Yes.
Okay, grades is success. Benji, sorry, you had which one? Achieving something through hard work. Okay, grades, achieving something through hard work, making sure you're happy with yourself. Anything else? Hanji Virji.
Following the right way to live so you don't look back and say, oh, I did something wrong, I went against my dharma, I intentionally did something that hurt someone else.
Okay.
So living a life where you can sleep at night, where you know that even if you succeeded or failed in worldly manners, that you could have, that your mind followed, I guess, good on.
Okay, so living a life with no regrets, right? Okay, cool. Anyone else? Yes.
Have a boring 9 to 5.
Have a boring 9 to 5 is success. Okay, great. All right, cool. So you guys shared what success means to you. Okay? But Kabir ji is saying that for them, success is all about the mind. And there's a reason for that. Later on, we're going to come across where Guru Nanak Dev Ji says about the mind. Okay? For now, we'll continue. I want to describe to you the relationship between the body and the mind. Okay? When I say the word mind, what comes to your minds? What do you think of the mind? Is it a body part? Is it a physical organ? Hanji. Sorry?
Inner thoughts.
Inner thoughts, okay. Mind. Inner thoughts. Anyone else? Yes.
Like full of like desires, like changing on like
Desires that are changing, okay. Consciousness, okay. What about the brain? Would you call the brain the mind? Why not? So we said thoughts, we said consciousness, we said feelings, desires, emotions. But what about the brain? Is that not the mind? No? Someone's shaking their head no. Why? Why not? Why is the brain not the mind? Okay, we'll continue. We'll have that thought in our heads, okay? And we'll try to explain that, okay? Great. So basically in Western concepts of what the mind is not as defined as what the Eastern concept of the mind is, okay? So within the Eastern traditions, the mind has been defined very rigorously, okay? The body has been defined very intensively as well. But when we look at the Western cultures or what the West has to say about the mind, it's kind of like a limbo. It looks like they're getting stuff from different cultures and putting it together, but it doesn't look like they have a concrete answer, okay? So I'm going to share what the Eastern philosophy of the mind is, okay? So the Eastern philosophy says that there's four main areas of what we call the mind, okay? The four main areas are this: man, chit, buddh, ahankar. Okay? This is towards the Vedic traditions or the Indic traditions, right? This is what the Indic traditions would say, and Gurbani uses these different things, man, buddh, chit, ahankar, as references from time to time, okay? So what is the man? The man is the root, okay? The root of all your thoughts. Okay? So imagine, within this physical body, right, there's a subtle body even inside this. That subtle body is composed of these four things, okay? The subtle body is something you cannot see with these eyes, okay? The subtle body is something you cannot hear with these ears. Right? It's a different dimension. It's a different plane of existence, okay? But we know it exists because we can feel it. Right? You can feel your emotions. If I said today, how do you feel? You said sad. And I said, show me sad. How are you going to show me sad? It's not something you can show in this physical plane. It's not made out of it's made out of the five elements, but it's not made out of a stool five elements. A stool means physical. It's subtle. Okay? It's subtle. Or in Punjabi or Gurmukhi, we'll say suksham. Okay, suksham. Something you cannot physically touch, you cannot physically see, you cannot smell. It doesn't come into your five senses. Make sense so far? Man. Man is the root, okay? It produces thoughts, okay? It doesn't know if those thoughts are good thoughts. It doesn't know if those thoughts are bad thoughts. It doesn't have any judgment of the thoughts. It just produces the thoughts, okay? And this is really important for you to understand when we talk about mental health, okay? What about the chit? The chit produces a question. And I'm going to give you an example to define these a little bit better. The buddh. The buddh is your intellect. Stay with me, guys. Man, chit, buddh, hankar. Okay? Buddh is what? The buddh is your intellect. It answers the questions. Okay? And then hankar, executor. Okay? Is so what manifests your original thought. Okay? Okay, what was man again? It produces thoughts. Okay, you guys follow me? Man produces thoughts, right? Chit produces a question. Buddh says yes or no to the question. It decides. And hankar executes. I'm going to give you an example now. Okay, I have my glasses in my hand. Okay, my man, right, produced a thought. Pick up the glasses. It's a thought. I can't see you guys, so hopefully you're looking at me. The man says, pick up the glasses. The chit says, Supreet Singh, do you want to or do you not want to pick up these glasses? Okay? The man said, pick up the glasses. It's a thought. It just produced a thought. It doesn't know if it's right or wrong. The chit says, do I want to or do I not want to? It looks back at the man, looks at the thoughts, and looks at it and produces a question. Should I or should I not? Then your buddhi, the third layer, your intellect, decides, yes, I would like to pick up these glasses. Lastly, your hankar comes and picks up the glasses. Make sense? The hankar is what manifests the original thought. The chit asks the question. The buddhi, the intellect, says yes or no. The hankar comes and does it. Does that make sense? Now, the word buddhi is used a lot. In your Punjabi households, your mom or dad will be like, "Tenu buddhi nahi hegi?" Do you ever heard that before? You must have been good kids if you never heard that before. Buddhi, or another word they use is mat. Teri mat putti pegi. You ever heard that before? Mat, buddh, mat. These are two interswappable things. They're synonyms. Okay, synonyms. In Punjabi, we call synonyms prai vachi shabad. Prai vache. Prai vachi means it's synonyms. Okay, buddh or mat. Now, have you ever heard the word gurmat before? Gurmat. People come with a stick and be like, this is not gurmat. This is not gurmat. Like, okay, mat means intellect. Gurmat means the guru's intellect. Why is, out of all these four things, your buddhi is arguably the most important section? Why? Why is it important? Hanji Veer ji.
Because it's the one that actually decides what you plan on doing.
Okay, decides on what you plan on doing. Okay. Why is that decision important? Ani? Hanji.
Because it's like one step before you actually do it.
Is one step before you actually do it. Great. If your buddhi was putti, like we say in Punjabi, putti means like it's wrong, right? If it was wrong, then what would happen is that every decision you make, every execution you do of your original thought, then produce to be wrong as well. And you find yourself doing the wrong things. When Gurbani would say, Phule, man, phule, like in Anand Sahib, Guru Sahib say, Phul ke vi galti na karo. Don't even make a mistake in your wildest dreams. But the only way you will not make a mistake is if your buddhi is ujagar, like they say in Gurbani. Ujagar means bright, enlightened, right? When your buddhi is enlightened, then you will know that I can't take this step, because if I do, it will cause me a lot of pain in the future. Okay, and that's why we rely on Gurmat, we rely on the Guru's teachings to tell us what is right and what is wrong. Does that make sense? So we always make the right decision. Okay, so this is a little bit about what the mind is, and that's important for you to understand as we continue forward. Now, what are thoughts? Okay. In Guru Granth Sahib Ji, there's a pankti by Guru Nanak Dev Ji where they say, Jo ji hoye so ugve, moh ka kehya wow. I'm going to explain that. Okay? I'm going to first give you understanding of what thoughts are. Imagine you're on a train station. Okay, this is a AI generated picture of a train. I really liked it, so I chose it. Imagine you're standing on a train station, right? And trains are going by. Trains are going by. You miss the train, the next train comes, you miss it. You're just standing on the station, right? You're just watching the trains go by. And if someone came to you and said, hey, you're the train, what would you tell that person? I'm not the train, I'm watching the train, right? I'm not the train because the train comes and goes. But what happens to us? And now I'm going to put the idea into the analogy. The train are your thoughts. You, the watcher, are the person who's standing on the station. What happens to us is that we start believing we are the thoughts. We start believing we are that train that's going 100 miles per hour over and over again. We judge ourselves based on the thoughts we carry. Do we do that? I know I'm guilty for that. We judge our thoughts and we say that, why am I thinking this way? I just thought so bad about that person. Why? Why did I just do that? But the idea is not, remember the mind, the man, his job is just to produce thoughts. That's what he's meant to do. He's like, I'm going to pay for this, man. I'm just going to produce the thoughts and slam them at your face. You decide what to do with it. What we need to do is be that watcher. All we do is watch the thought come. I don't really want to do anything with this thought right now. Let it fly. The thought comes. Okay, yeah, I'll take this on board. Thought says, yeah, you're hungry. Are you hungry? Okay, yeah, I think I'm hungry. I'll take some pizza. Right? The thought comes, I don't know, go jump off that, go jump off somewhere. I don't know. You're like, no, that's not what I want to do right now. You are the master of your mind. You are not a slave to the thoughts. The thoughts are a slave to you. Okay? What happens to us is that we got the narrative wrong. We think that we are a slave to our thoughts. Our thoughts say something, we got to do it. No, you don't. You got to challenge your thoughts. You got to use that mat, that buddhi, that intellect that the Guru given you to step up and be like, I don't agree with this, or I do agree with this. You need willpower. Okay? A lot of us are struggling with real addictions. Okay? Social media can be addiction. Porn can be addiction. Drugs can be addiction. Addictions can come in a physical form, and they can come in something that's not physical as well. Okay? You need to step up with willpower and say, I'm going to fight this addiction. If you go to a rehab center, the first thing they will tell you is to let go of your addiction. The only person that can let go of your addiction is you. No one else. No one can come through his doors and open the key to your heart and take that addiction out. As much as we want that to go, they can't do it. You need to step up and be like, I will do it. I can do it. With the Guru's grace, with the God's grace, I can do it. Okay? So these are thoughts. Everyone okay so far? Okay? Well, we can get into more intermediate discussions as well. But I just want to give you some background knowledge so that we can make those discussions happen. Okay, what influences our thoughts then? Okay. Well, Gurbani was saying before, Guru Nanak Dev Ji was saying that thoughts are just like the wind. They come and they go, they come and they go. But they're coming from the inside. Jo jiyo hoy. Whatever's inside. Jiyo means inside. Your heart. Whatever's inside, that's what's coming out. So what's influencing what's inside? What's influencing our thoughts? Maybe social media, YouTube. Maybe, I don't think you guys are using LinkedIn right now, right? When you guys get a job, probably need it. But Facebook, Stumble Upon, these are old, pretty old picture. I don't think you guys remember what Stumble Upon is. Or they gotta know what thing is. Okay. But Instagram, TikTok, so on and so forth, you guys get it, right? What influences our thoughts? Our environment. Physical, social, mental, all these different things that we're absorbing day in and day out. The moment we wake up, when someone wakes up, who says Vaheguru when they wake up? Wow, man, you guys are saints. Who picks up their phone and scrolls on Instagram? Come on, guys, no way. Alright, that's good if you're not doing that. TikTok? Something? Messages? Alright, normally what happens is that we wake up and we use our Instagram, right? We use our messages, we check our phones. Like light last night must have been crazy, so I gotta check out what happened, right? We wanna be up to date. We're constantly ejecting ourselves. What happens is that they say it takes 40 days to make a habit. It takes 40 days to make a habit. After 40 days of you doing that, it becomes a part of you. You can't go to the bathroom without your phone anymore. You can't eat without using a phone. You can't wake up without using your phone. What do you think our ancestors did? They didn't use their phones in the bathroom. They probably didn't even have phones back then, right? They did something else. What they did was they had something called boredom, which is something that we don't have anymore. You can't be bored anymore. As soon as you feel bored, you pick up your phone and get a quick scope of dopamine, right? You get hit with this intoxication. Who knows what dopamine is? Right? It's a chemical that your brain releases to say, yeah, I want more of this, right? That reel that you watch, that TikTok you watch, what is it giving you? It's giving you a blast of dopamine. And your mind is like, keep it coming, man, keep it coming. And it just wants to scroll and scroll and scroll. Our minds are so used to this, we don't know what boredom is anymore. Boredom was necessary for your brains. Boredom was necessary part of your minds, and you need boredom. Because if you don't have boredom, you won't become creative. Does that make sense? When you're bored, you become creative. You think something, you think outside of the box. You think about what you want to do with your life. If you're not going to be bored, then your mind has no time to think out of the box. Alright? Okay. So, what influences our thoughts? Our environment. Okay? Guru Sahib says, Bija Bek, everyone repeat after me, Bija Bek Manga Amrit Vekho Eho Neao. Guruji says, okay, we tell Guruji, we were like, man, I'm so messed up. My life is horrible right now. Why? Why is it horrible? We look at the Guru and we're like, why is it horrible? And the Guruji laughs. And they say, you planted bik means poison. You planted poison inside. And now you're asking me for Amrit? Amrit means immortality. You're asking me for happiness. You planted poison. You picked up the phone and you messaged a girl or a boy that you shouldn't have. You were already in a relationship and you messaged someone else. You went into an exam, right? And you cheated off another person. You didn't do your homework and now you're desperately holding on to this random smart kid in your class that he'll help you with your homework. We plant poison in our lives and then we look at God and be like, why'd you do that to me? Same thing goes for our thoughts. Whatever we plant in the inside comes out. That man that's producing thoughts at you back and forth, boom, 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 boom. Whoever heard of intrusive thoughts? Who's experiencing intrusive thoughts? Intrusive thoughts, they are a hurricane. When they engulf your mind, it's so hard to get out. So hard to get out. Why? Because the mind, that man that we talked about, it was stabbed with so many injections of different things that it shouldn't have been exposed to. Today, you can see the whole world. You can tour the whole world sitting in your bedroom in the span of 5 minutes. Right? Do you think that's good for you? And then kids that are growing up in this generation, they're getting even worse, right? So, okay. So what we plant inside is important. Okay. Gossiping and anxiety. Is there a link? Okay. Guru Sahib says, Par ka bura, after me, par ka bura, na rakho ho cheet, tumko dukh, nahi pai meet. Par means someone else. Bura means bad, being bad, right? Na rakho cheat. In your chit, in your mind, in your heart, don't harvest any bad thoughts to someone else. Don't harvest any bad thoughts to someone else. If you do that, tumko dukh nahi pai meet. Oh my friend, oh my brother or my sister, you'll never have any pains in your life. Like we said, Gurbani, especially, this is a subjective view, I feel like Gurbanis all talk about mental health and mental wellness. But there's a lot of shabads, a lot of panktiyan, there's a direct correlation between different mental illnesses and what we can do in our spiritual lives. Okay? Guruji says that anxiety, chinta, dukh, right? Where is it coming from? It's coming from you gossiping of someone else. It's coming from you slandering someone else. It's coming from you talking bad about someone else. Why? Why does me talking about that girl who wore the same suit 3 times in a row at that party, why is me talking about that girl causing me pain? Can someone explain that to me? Sorry, is that your hand? No? Anyone want to try? Hanji. It's always on your mind, okay, but what about my mind is affecting you? Or vice versa. What about my mind? Like why is there a correlation between me and you? Hanji.
I feel like behind your words there's energy. And
There's
you're putting out negative energy and it's going to come back to you as well.
okay, negative energy. Okay, so words carry energy, thoughts carry energy. Very good. Hanji. Okay, because you're saying it, so it's something that you desire, you're putting it out there. Okay. If I said we're all connected, who would believe that? Gurbani starts with a number, right? And the number is ik, 1. Right? What that means is that we are all one. But when it comes down to those times, when it comes down to crunch time, then we're like, yo man, that guy, no, I'm not blaming. Don't call him, man, he's a loser. Oh, don't call her, you know what she does, you know how she behaves, right? When it comes to crunch time, then we differentiate. Then we say me and you. I'm not talking about just a community. As a community, we feel for each other, right? But I'm talking about humanity. Guruji said one. We're all one. Us, the trees, the plants, the creatures, anything. The little spiders, the bugs, the roaches that we don't like. Everything is one. What that means is that, and if you look at quantum physics, who's in engineering here? Okay. In quantum physics, they'll tell you that matter is just vibrations. Matter is just vibrations. Everything's vibrating at different frequencies. And what is vibrations? Energy, sound. When we talk about Gurbani says that everything comes down to one sound, that is Oankar. Ik Oankar. Right? From that one, this sound came out, this energy came out, and everything's vibrating with that frequency. So when I produce a thought, I'm producing energy. When I'm producing energy, right, what goes around comes around. If you ask for pala of the world, which we're supposed to do, right? That pala of the world comes right back to you and ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵੀ pala ਹੁੰਦਾ. When we say Nanak naam ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਭਾਣੇ ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ, when we say ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਕਰੀ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀ ਵਸਦੇ ਹਾਂ. When we say do pala of the whole world, we are living in that world as well. So what we put out there comes back to us. So, if you cannot do anything for a person you're passing by, the best thing you can do is say, Maharaj, ira pala kari. Pala means welfare. I wish well upon this person. I can't do anything. I can't give this person $1. I can't give this person a smile. I can't give this person anything. I can do a simple ardas in my head that person will never know about. But when you do that ardas, you put that energy out there, it comes right back to you and ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵੀ ਭਲਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ. ਪਰ ਕਾ ਬੁਰਾ ਨਾ ਰੱਖੋ ਚੀਜ਼. Never think bad upon someone else. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ? A lot of times, what social media does is it makes us feel low. We compare. We see someone else, they're on vacation, they're in Hawaii. And we're like, yo man, ਘੜੀ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਹਵਾਈ ਚਲਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਾਣੇ. ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਫਸੀ ਹੋਈ ਹਾਂ. I'm stuck over here. This person's in Hawaii like 24/7. What about me? Oh man, he got married? Oh, I'm left, man. Oh, that girl, she got engaged? What about me? We're always comparing. We like that photo, we like that video, but inside, we're just comparing and contrasting. Right? That's something we don't want to do. If you see something happening good for someone else, be like, Vaiguru, ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਉਹਨਾਂ Like, thank you. Thank you for showing me someone else's happiness. May they be more happy. May they have more pala in their life. ठीक है? Okay. Possessions and anxiety. You can take any topic within mental wellness, anxiety, depression, or anything, and you can have a whole segment about Gurbani. Today, we're going to just be focusing on a few different things. Just give you a trailer of what Gurbani says about mental illness. Okay. So, possessions and anxiety. Guru Sahib says, after me, ਵੱਡੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਜੋ ਦੀਸਹਿ ਹੈ ਲੋਗ ਤਿਨਕੋ ਵਿਆਪੈ ਚਿੰਤਾ ਰੋਗ. How are we doing at time right now? 9:51. Okay, Maharaj says those people that you see with so much material possessions, they're rich, they have high careers, you think they're really happy, but guess what? Tinko vyapya chinta rog. They have the rog. Rog means disease. They have the disease of what? Chinta. Chinta meaning anxiety. Fikr. Worries. They're stuck in anxiety. Why? Because when you have this and this in your hands, right? What is the biggest fear I have? Losing it. The biggest fear I have is losing it. Because I'm holding on to it. I said, this is mine. Because it's mine, I'm trying to save it. I'm trying to work hard to make sure it stays with me and grow it. Right? But what Gurbani teaches us is something called tyag. Tyag doesn't mean that you become homeless. Tyag means that you have these possessions, but you say internally, these are not mine. I'm going to use them for a purpose of using them, but they do not belong to me. Because you are now removing that self-identity. Okay? That ego we talked about before, those 4 things we talked about, right? One of them was ego, right? Hankar. Hankar is necessary for me to talk. Hankar is necessary for me to execute what I'm thinking. But all those things are a balance. If we have too much hankar, then now that same thing that was there for you to complete everyday tasks are now becoming a disease for your life. ठीक है? Okay. So what is the connection with the body? What is the connection with the man and the body? ठीक है? The mind, that four things we talked about, is connected to your physical body. Remember I talked about there's a physical body and there's a subtle body, right? The subtle body is those four things we talked about, man, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. And the physical body is this physical body you can see. So the mind, the man, is connected to this physical body. How so? Maharaj says, man mela, after me, man mela, sab kich mela, tan tota, man hacha na hoy. Maharaj says that your body and your mind are connected. If your mind is dirty, mala means dirty. If your mind is dirty, then everything you see will be dirty. You know that the analogy of cup is half full, half empty? It's about perspective, right? Like for example, two people are standing here, this cup is half full or empty. I will say it's half full, the other person will say it was half empty. It's about perspective, right? If your perspective is dirty, the glasses you're wearing, if it's stained up, the way you see the world will be stained up. If you are harvesting bad thoughts for someone else, right? You will always think that the other person hates me. The other person, they don't like me. Though they're also thinking bad upon me. Why? Because the way you present your mind inside is the way you see the world outside. The world that we see is nothing besides your insides. According to spirituality, according to Eastern philosophy, according to Gurbani, what you see on the outside is a reflection of what is on your inside. ठीक है? Am I hitting you guys hard? Is this okay? Digestible? Alright, cool. What's in the inside is what you're seeing on the outside. So if your insides are dirty, then your outside will be dirty as well. Okay. Guru Nanak Dev Ji has this pankti within Japji Sahib, a statement. They say, Man jeeta, after me, Man jeeta, Jag jeet. One more time, Man jeeta, Jag jeet. They say, Sikha, je tu mantu te jit pali. If you were to win over your mind, you'll win over the whole world. If you win over your mind, you'll win over the whole world. How big of a statement is that? How big of a statement is that? But why? How? How is the mind and the world connected? Remember, we're all one, right? It's all energy. We're all one. The moment you win over this mind, the moment the mind is your slave and you're not the slave to the mind. And who are you? We keep saying you and the mind. So we're differentiating it. Right? We're differentiating. We know this body is in us, the human body. We know this is not us. But the subtle body, the emotions, the feelings, the thoughts, I'm differentiating that between you and that package. What that means is that you are something else, and those thoughts and those feelings and those emotions are something else. So who are you? Who are you? What do you guys think? You're not thoughts. We were going through that. You're not feelings. You're not emotions. So who are you? Jyot? Okay, what is Jyot? What is Jyot? Hari Om said Jyot. What is Jyot? Light. Man, tu Jyot Sarup hai. Gurbani talks to you. And they say, Man, tu, you, Jyot Sarup hai. Apna mool pashan. Recognize who you are, Guru Sahib says. You are the light. Can you imagine that? You are light. Guruji is saying, you're not dirty. You're not stained because you have some kind of addiction. You're not low. You're the light of God. That's who you are. Today, we confuse humility with discouragement. We confuse the concept of humility, of being low, and beating ourselves up. Guruji is raising you. They rose the common person. Okay? They rose the common person. They told us that you could be from any background, but for me, you are my kings and queens. That's why we say Singh and Kaur, right? Because we say Singh means lion, and Kaur means princess, and these names are royal names. If you look at Rajput names, or if you watch any Mughal Empire movie versus the Rajputs, you'll see their last names were always Singh. Then the BBR were called Kaur. These are royal names. We don't feel it. We don't experience it because we're out of sync of that culture. We're brought up in a different culture, which we have to kind of find our way back. As Sikhs living here in the West, we're finding our way back to our culture. We're finding our way back to our roots. But the truth is that every single fabrication of the community you live in is about being royal, is about being leaders, is about being godly, is about being kings and queens. Man tu jyot swaroop hai apna mool peshan. Guruji is saying that you are so blessed. Why? Because you are the form of light. Recognize your worth. Recognize your worth. Okay. Man jeeta jagjeet. Now, this philosophy of winning over your mind, it's a step-by-step process. Okay? It's good on paper, but how do you win over your mind? Well, in these steps, a common Japji Sahib, okay? The first step is something called Santokh. What does Santokh mean? Anyone? Contentment. Santokh means content, being content. What does being content mean? Being satisfied with what you have, right? Being satisfied with what you have. Just 5 more minutes, guys, and then we'll break. Maharaj says Munda Santokh. They're giving us a description, an outfit. They're saying wear earrings. Munda means earrings of contentment. Okay? Why earrings? Earrings are something that people wear. They don't come off your body. You sleep with it. You wake up with it. You take a shower with it. Right? That's what earrings are always part of your body. Guru Sahib says, put Santokh into your ears. Walk around with contentment. You see someone that has something better than you, say, Maharaj, I am happy with what you have given me. I'm teaching you these things, not so that you could just throw it in the garbage, but so you can apply it in your lives. Okay? Everyone close their eyes and repeat after me. Maharaj, I'm happy with what you have given me. Everything you have given me, from my family, to my friends, to all the possessions, to my grades, I'm happy with it. I thank you for it. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for everything you have given me. Okay, these are steps you can take, meditative practices you can implement in your daily lives. Yes, Simran is important. Yes, Kirtan is important. Katha is important. But if we do not understand Gurbani, if we don't apply it to our lives, then we're barely flying. Okay? I'm not taking away from Simran. I'm not taking away from Kirtan. These things are important. But if you truly want to see change in your lives, you're going to implement this logically, physically. Okay? Make your earrings of Santokh, contentment. I'm happy with what you have given me. Okay, next. Now Maharaj says Sarampacho Li. There's a begging bowl that yogis used to carry. Okay, so this analogy that we're giving step by step was given towards the yogi community, the yogic community. Okay, so they had this begging bowl, right? And they would go ask for food, right? Because yogis would meditate in the forest, the mountains, right? And for food, they will come back into society and go around begging for food. Okay? So Maharaj says, make your bata, your begging bowl, out of sharam. Sharam means humility. Humility. Humility means that concept of always staying niva, low. Okay? Not the type of low I was telling you about before, beating yourself up. Not that type of low. A type of low that you have everything, you're smart, you know, but you don't let that come to your lips. You don't put someone else down to put yourself higher. Okay? You don't put someone else down to put yourself higher. You stay low. Like water. Water flows low. Okay? We're quickly going here because we're getting out of time, and I really want you guys to talk. So, next, there was ashes that the yogis would put on themselves, right? And the ashes had a purpose. The purpose was that in the cold time, the ashes would keep them warm, and in the summertime, the ashes will keep them cool. Okay? And another thing was that the ashes reminded them that this body will turn into ash one day. It's only temporary. Okay? So Mara says, take that vibhuti, that ash, and make it of dhyan. Dhyan means meditation. Okay? Focus your breath. You can't get out of bed. You have so much anxiety about today. Today's going to be a big day. You have exams. You're struggling to get out of bed. Meditate. Sit in the bed. Lay down. You don't have to get up. Focus on your breath. Watch your breath go in and go out. Let's do it together. Okay, I'm going to teach you this meditation. You can apply it in your lives. Okay. Let's take a deep breath in. Hold it. And release. Keep letting it release until you can't do it anymore. And now back in. Hold it. And back out. Your mind and your breath are connected. Okay? And before you go on to me and be like, wait. Well, I thought Sikhs don't do yoga. I thought we don't. Do you play basketball? You play soccer? You play football? You exercise your body? You can exercise your mind too. Okay? If we talk about the brain is a muscle. The brain is a muscle. A muscle needs to be exercised with. You exercise your muscle. You use it, otherwise you'll lose it. Right? If you ask a person who goes to the gym and they're doing reps every single day, doing those chest presses every day, you'll be like, you did it one year, why you gotta do it next year? That bro will tell you, if I don't do this, I'm gonna lose it, man. Right? If you don't keep working on your abs, you're gonna lose them. In the same way, your breath is really important. Your breath helps you guide your thoughts. Your breath helps you take charge of your life. If you can't get out, and trust me, if you haven't been there, God forbid you be there. But it's hard. Okay? It's hard. People that are going through this, they know it's hard. I meet them. It's hard for them to get out of bed. It's hard for them to start their day. It's hard for them to communicate with people. It's hard for them to pick up their phone and text their friends or loved ones. It's hard for them. They've gone down this rabbit hole where they're no longer in charge of their life. And you're not meant for that. Trust me, you're not meant for that. You're meant for greatness. And all it needs is a few steps, here and there. A few good friends, good sangat, good advice, good teachings, and you can get back to your life. Okay, breath. Try and meditate with your breath. Okay, so dhyan is one of the things that Guru Sahib is saying. Remember, we're trying to figure out how to win over the mind. Man says, "Man jeeta jag jeet." That was what we started with, right? Now we're trying to figure out how to win over our mind. So we started with santok, right? The earrings of santok. Then we talked about the humility, right? Ashes of humility. Then we talked about dhyan being your begging bowl, right? Now, Maharaj says kintha kal. Kintha was something that yogis wore, like a long robe. It was like a long white robe. Like what I'm wearing today, like a chola is called chola, right? But what they were wearing was something called kintha. Maharaj says, make your kintha, your chola, your long robe that you wear, or your clothing that you wear, of death. Remembrance of death. Why is remembering death so important? Can anyone tell me? Why is remembering death so important? Isn't that scary? Why should I be remembering that?
It's just the one way people share everything. I mean, no matter if you're higher, no matter if you're lower, you're all going to the same place.
Okay, you're all going to the same place.
You enjoy now.
You enjoy now. Okay.
That reminds you of your purpose.
That reminds you of your purpose. If I said today, you have 1 hour left to live. You have 1 hour left to live. What would you do? Would you care about those two exams tomorrow? Would you care about the breakup you had last month with Sovina? Would you care about what that Rana Gora said about your dastard? 1 hour left. Okay, 30 minutes. 15. 5. 1 minute. If you have 1 minute left to do, what would you do? Would you go skydiving? Like, I gotta go skydiving, that's my last time, I got tired of. What would you do? Tell me. Naam Japna, okay. 1 minute, guys, come on. Time's running out.
Call my mom.
Karma?
Call my mom.
Call your mom. Call my mom. 20 seconds left to live. What would you do? You know what? Thank you. Thank Wargiji for a chance to have lived. Beautiful. You know what Gurbani says? Gurbani says, you don't have a minute, you don't have 10 minutes, you don't have a week, you don't have a year. You have 1 breath. 1 breath. Hum aadmi haan, ek dami. Dami means breath. We are people of breaths. We're not people of time. We're people of breaths. That breath I told you to watch, that breath that comes in. Imagine this breath comes in, goes out, and the next one doesn't come back. Imagine the next one is not coming back. You gone, brother. It's over. Death is the biggest truth to life. Death is the biggest truth to life. If you remember death, you will remember God. If you don't remember death, there is no God to you. Does that make sense? The world is trying to make you forget about death. The moment you start thinking, man, what's my life about? And the ad comes in, did you check out this new purse? The moment you say, man, what is this big universe all about? There's so many planets, there's gotta be more to life than this. And the new game system comes out, PS7. The moment you start thinking about something greater, the world grabs you and be like, put the badge around. I made it not bad. Come sit here. Let's go to a club. Let's go watch that movie tonight. Let's do this. Let's do that. It's all about making you forget. Forget what? Death. It's all about making you forget about death. They try to tell you it doesn't exist. It's a fairy tale. You'd be like, wait, my grandmother, oh, what the heart problem si na? Tu prava, tenu kade heart problem honi hai. You're not gonna have a heart problem. You're immortal. You're living in 2023. You can't die. Come on, man. You got your whole life to live. But I'll tell you something. I met a 20-year-old that died. I met a 15-year-old that died. I met a 7-year-old that died. Life is not about years. Don't think that you have your Giovanni, you gotta be here forever. When you walk out of those doors, there's no guarantee. No one can give you that guarantee. No astrology person, no whatever frana person will be like, you got so many years to live now. Your tai, your mom, your chachi, your pua, no one can save you. Your relationship with the Creator is personal. Forget about where you're gonna go, what's gonna happen. Now. If you can take this now and make it your everything, you'll get what we started off with. We started off with success, right? Bhagavad Gita told us what success is. This is success is fixing yourself. Success is fixing your mind. You fix that, you get everything. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying that if you beat your mind, you win the world. Okay. Kuari Kaya Jugat. Jugat means the path. Okay. Maharaj says, let the path be Kuari. Kuari, ever heard this word before? Kuari? Ki oh bachi Kuari hai ji. Kuari literally means virgin. Okay. Keep the path of virginity. Okay. What that means is a pure lifestyle. Okay. Virginity in the sense that you're refraining from lust, you're refraining from anger, you're refraining from greed, attachment, the 5 vices. You're keeping a pure lifestyle. This is a step of getting control of your mind. Quickly now. Danda pratit. Lastly, the yogis, they used to have a danda, a stick. Maharaj says, make your stick about pratit. Pratit means faith. Bharosa. Faith. Having faith that, you know what, my guru is with me. You know what, my guru does love me. I don't need you to tell me he doesn't. The guru does love me. And I promise you the guru loves you. You know what people go around saying Jesus loves you? They aren't wrong. God loves you, man. They're not standing with a stick ready to beat you up. We say, in Gurbani, we say they're nirpo and nirvair. Vair means to attack. They're nirvair, they're without hate, they're without attacking. They're not going to beat you up. So if they're without hate, what do you think they're filled with? Love. Sach kaho, sun leho sabah, jin prem kiyo, tin hi prab payo. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, that guru that we think is super, Jungians that slap our faces off with their sword, that guru said these words, that I tell you the truth, Sach kaho, I'm telling you the truth, sun leho sabah, listen to what I'm saying. Jin prem kiyo, those that have loved, then he prab payo, they will get prab, God, Creator, Vaheguru. They didn't say how to love. They didn't say where to love. They said just love. Just love. How do you just love? Just love brings you back to that oneness. You love that person not because they're yours. You just love them. You love that person not because they're your friend, they're your sister, or they're your brother. No, you just love them. That's the difference between love and attachment. Attachment is like, I love my son because he's my son. But the other person that comes to my house, that person is sick, I don't care. I care about my son. Love is that my son and that other person's son is the same to me. I'll love them both. Love is that, you know what? This is my sister, but that homeless person on the road, they're as important to me as my sister. That's what love is. Jin prem kiyo, tin hi prab payo. Alright, keeping going. And lastly, Maharaj says, Ai panthi sagal jamati. Jamati means classmate. In India, they'll be like, tu kire jamaat vich padda? What class do you learn in? मैं 11वीं जमात विच हाँ, मैं 10वीं जमात विच हाँ, मैं 9वीं जमात विच हाँ, I'm in 9th grade, 10th grade. So to describe your class, they use the word jamaat. Jamati means classmate, class fellow. Maharaj says, Ai panthi sagal. Sagal means all. Recognize all of humanity. Recognize all of creation to be your classmate. Recognize everyone to be your brother and sister. If you can do all these things of contentment, of humility, of forgiveness, of meditation, of seeing everyone as one, then man jeeta, jag jeet. This is a whole podi we just went through in Japji Sahib. Munda santok saram pacholi tyangi kare bibut khintha kal kuwari kaya jugad danda pratit ai panthi sagal jamati man jeeta jag jeet. Ades se ades ad nila nadanahat jug jug ekko ves. Okay, last few slides. The connection between the mind and the universe. We talked about the connection between the mind and the body, the mind and the world, now the mind and the universe. Everything there is in the cosmos. Guru Sahib says, Jo Brahmande. Brahmand means universe. Whatever is in the universe, soi pinde. Pinde means your body, inside your mind. Whatever there is in the cosmos, the planets, the dimensions, aliens, UFOs, whatever there is inside your body. That's a huge statement. That cannot be explained. Just look at this picture and then that's all I can say. Jo khoja so paave. Whoever searches inside, they will receive. Sadhu Sangha, the slide keeps going, but we'll stop here for today. I really want to thank you guys for coming out and listening to me talk. And we'll do a little Q&A. So thank you so much. Thank you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.